We start with a MAGA reckoning. Donald Trump ripping his own base in a way we have never seen before, slamming MAGA true believers as, quote, stupid and foolish for demanding answers about the Epstein files. It's an extraordinary turn of events. The president, known for his cult-like power over his base, suddenly engulfed by the very conspiracy theory he fueled. Today in the Oval Office, Trump trying to distance himself from Epstein, falsely blaming Democrats while insulting Republicans for getting, quote, duped.
So we now have opening curtain. Pantomime has begun. Trump is in office. And this is a methodical, step-by-step takedown of the entire corrupt temple. You guys know what I'm talking about. Every single pillar in this society, because we're so-called the leaders of the world, right? Whatever happens in America happens all over the world. Well, this entire corrupt temple is methodically being taken down. Hopefully, we'll have a soft landing. But I've been telling you this over and over again. My name is DMG. Welcome to the D program. Let's light them up. What's going on, you guys? I appreciate you guys plugging into another D program, stopping through and spending some time with me, DMG. And I want to thank you guys also for having the patience to grow with this channel. Like, subscribe, comment, and also share this video so that we can grow this YouTube channel together. Put it out there into the ether, put it out there into the algorithm so that this channel will catch fire eventually. Just like the little symbol behind me, you'll see the fire ring, right? We're going to catch fire, y'all. We're going to encircle every subject, every topic with fire. And we're going to give the light that God wants us to give to every single man that God has called to light up this world. And that, I just want you guys to remember, that's why I always say, let's light them up. We're lighting people with the truth, lighting people with as much truth and as much research that we can, or that I can, as I have sorted out for myself as far as the truth is concerned. I appreciate y'all coming in here, plugging into another deprogramming, getting deprogrammed in your mind, and then having your mind renewed by the word of God, and also alternative media, not just the mainstream media, where that roaring lion, the principality of the air, that's where he dwells. Anyway, I could go on and on with that. Listen, you guys have seen some really annoying things that has come to light, man. Dealing with Trump and the administration, all of these convoluted types of the way that they're handling this Epstein thing, man. It's not professional. I know that. But I can tell you this. There will be disclosure. There's going to be full disclosure. There's going to be not just in the Epstein case, but I'm talking about in every aspect, every pillar, the entertainment mountain, the media mountain, the educational mountain, the family mountain, right? The banking or the money system. All of the different pillars, they are going to crumble. Now, am I saying that because, I have some type of, maybe some type of, I don't know, intuition or prophetic thing going on here? I wouldn't say so. I would say that it's probably more insight and looking at how past societies has fallen when things, especially in the morality realm, starts to break down. Now, it could be some of those things that I said, I don't know, maybe some type of insight or something, being able to just kind of feel something out there that may be happening, What I want to say is, when God wants things to change, there's nothing man can do to stop it. Trump can't stop it. I can't stop it. You can't stop it. Principalities, powers, rulers of the darkness of this world cannot stop it. Congress, the House of Representatives, I don't give a flying flip. Who comes to try to put themselves in front of what God wants to do? It's not going to stop it. So I'm going to get right into this video. I'm going to react to it, but most of it, I'm just going to let it play because you guys need to see what's going on. And then I have some things to say because, today something happened with Trump and his health, right? But I'll get into that at the end. Y'all check this out.
Suddenly engulfed by the very conspiracy theory he fueled. Today in the Oval Office, Trump trying to distance himself from Epstein, falsely blaming Democrats while insulting Republicans for getting, quote, duped.
It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work. I call it the Epstein hoax.
Will you ask Attorney General Pam Bondi to release more documents to finally put this controversy to bed?
Whatever's credible, she can release. If a document is credible, if a document's there that is credible, she can release. I think it's good. But it's just a subject. He's dead. He's gone, and. All it is the certain Republicans got duped by the Democrats.
So let me slow this down and stop it and pause this just for a second. When you say that the Republicans got duped by the Democrats, when did that happen? When did it become a hoax? That's my question. I don't know what part of the art of the deal this is. But it's going to be very hard to sell Trump. And I'm a supporter. But it's a very hard line to sell when you say it's a hoax, when you say we got duped. Check this out.
Speaking of which, how is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right, folks? It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right?
So when you have your son, Don Jr., talking about the Epstein list in a way that is vehemently coming across to many MAGA supporters, it's going to be really tough to sell that it was a hoax or to say that these people are weaklings now. See, people like myself supported you. Still support you, right? But I have to give some pushback because when you have someone, whether it's a leader or not, and I'm just talking to everybody here, not just Trump, you have to show some intestinal fortitude here, some stick-to-itiveness of integrity to let your leaders know, I support you, but what are you doing? Why would you turn so quickly in a direction that now it's just a hoax and everybody was duped? Check this out.
This guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that.
I blame Pam Bondi. She is the reason that things are unraveling.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
It's not going anywhere. You built MAGA. I give you that. Absolutely awesome. You built it. You built it around transparency. You built it around not holding your tongue. You built it around destroying the deep state. You built it around destroying political correctness. Well, it's not going to go away. This is going to be something that you have to deal with head on. And I know you can do it, and I think you will do it. But until then, this thing is going to escalate like a snowball downhill. I just hope that you can get in front of it before the snowball turns into an avalanche where you can't stop it.
In a Truth Social post, Trump calling Republicans who want more information weaklings, claiming he doesn't want their support anymore. This all follows a memo from Trump's own DOJ pouring cold water on conspiracy theories about Epstein's death and his alleged secret client list. The problem is Trump and his top deputies stoked those very same conspiracy theories. Now, new calls from Republicans in Congress for testimony and more transparency.
It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide.
I'll let the Department of Justice continue to carry out what they need to do. I do think there needs to be more transparency.
But whatever they have, it needs to be transparent. It needs to come out.
I think moving forward, we need a special counsel. That has got to happen.
I'm big on clarity and transparency, and that's a good reason people don't trust government, either party.
But you don't believe what the Justice Department is saying?
I don't know. No, I don't. I don't trust them.
And we have Marjorie Taylor Greene calling for Ghislaine Maxwell to testify before Congress, and Lauren Boebert saying a special counsel should be appointed, and even floated Matt Gaetz, of all people, for the job. Meantime, inside MAGA's media ecosystem, while some figures are backing off the Epstein story, many others are still digging in. Right-wing personality Laura Loomer, who has direct access to Trump, warning the Epstein scandal could, quote, consume his presidency. Others weighing in.
They've got videotape, and all of a sudden they don't. You have the director of the FBI on this show saying there's no tape. If there was, nothing you're looking for is on those tapes. Like, what? Why did they say there was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible? Why did they say that?
Right.
Didn't Pam Bondi say that?
I mean, we're getting flooded with thousands, hundreds of thousands of comments that are very unhappy about this. President Trump was elected primarily to go after the deep state. We want to go after the deep state.
It seems like you think your base is stupid. That's how I feel. I feel like Trump thinks his base is stupid.
That, my friends, is where we start. Donald Trump cornered by the most extreme elements of his base on a conspiracy theory that he peddled. Joining me now is Christina Greer, political science professor with Fordham University and author of How to Build a Democracy. Also with us, Rick Wilson, co-founder of the Lincoln Project and host of Rick Wilson's The Enemies List podcast. Rick, I'll start with you and what you make of this mess. Trump's followers, the MAGA base, they've forgiven him for so much over the years. I mean, take it all the way back to the Access Hollywood tape. So why is this the thing now that is sticking?
He has had a decade of, as you point out, basically a free ride with his own base. They have taken all the abuse, all the lies, all the chaos, the scandals, and basically said, we love this. This is what we wanted. But 10 years ago, the Epstein story and this QAnon-driven conspiracy theory of Pizzagate wired into the Republicans' brains that there was a global conspiracy by the Democrats of sex trafficking and child abuse and all this stuff. And it became a central part of the Republican identity. Trump's strongest followers again and again and again promoted this. Trump himself promoted it. Donald Trump Jr. promoted it. They all said, we need to know what's in the Epstein files so that we can go after the Democrats. When they say deep state, they mean the Democratic Party.
Right there is absolute truth. When the deep state is mentioned, I agree that it's the Democrat Party. Absolutely. Look at your party. These people right here are now proclaiming, and I can hear they're just giddy. I can hear the giddiness in the background of his voice, where he is so happy now that this thing has kind of like fizzled out to be a nothing burger, but at the same time demanding that more come forth. Because if there's nothing there, there's nothing that this guy would like more than to continue to say, bring it out, bring it out, bring it out, because there's nothing there. But if you look at the Democrat Party, look at the Democrat Party. Look what they promote. They promote abortion, baby murder. They promote a man is a woman is a man. Think about all of the twisted things that they promote. Who would not think that it would be that party that is promoting even deeper and darker things, such as what we're talking about here with the Epstein files or the Epstein list or whatever you want to call it? Absolutely. That's what we mean, or what they mean when they say the deep state.
And so by doing this over and over again, it became seared in the imaginations and the minds of MAGA voters. And now Trump is telling them, never mind, you're stupid. I think, as Tim Pool, one of his strongest supporters, said today, he's nuking his own base.
Christina, do you see it as that serious? I mean, we have seen people who are otherwise very consistently in lockstep with each other, like on their messaging. Megyn Kelly, Laura Ingraham, for example, end up on kind of opposite sides of this in recent days. Just this week, Megyn Kelly kind of trashing Laura Ingraham. I want you to take a listen to some sound and we'll talk on the back.
You now have some MAGA influencers clearly on direction of the White House saying, okay, I'm done. You had Laura Ingraham go on her show on Fox News on last night being like, oh, well, after there was the pile-on at Charlie Kirk's Turning Point event, where all this Republican infighting, and then kind of suggested she's moving on from Epstein. Okay, she was part of it. I like Laura, but she 100% stood up there and fanned this flame.
Christina, do you think these fissures are real? Is this exposing something real among that base?
Yeah, Antonia, I'm of two minds because as Rick mentioned, there's been little to nothing that can move his base away from him. And don't forget, we need to back up even before 10 years ago when Donald Trump trolled then President Barack Obama, saying that, he demanded to see his birth certificate. His birth certificate wasn't real. He wasn't an American citizen. And when Obama finally acquiesced, and it said that he absolutely is indeed an American citizen, Donald Trump said, no, well, that must be fake and there's nothing to see here. So he's been able to pivot consistently, and his base, just like schools of fish, follow him along. This one is slightly different because there are some people who are saying, well, since you brought up this catastrophe. You're the one who started the storm.
Speaking of the storm, y'all remember this?
You guys know what this represents?
Well,
It's the calm before the storm.
what's the storming?
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm is
We have the world's great military people in this room, I will tell you that. And we're going to have a great evening. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Because you said that there definitely was something there. And now you're saying, let's just walk away and forget it. We've got other things. It's just the Democrats being Democrats. I don't know if this will stick because in the past, they have not been moved by sexual assault allegations. They have not been moved by criminal and civil allegations against the president. And when he's not president, they haven't been moved by any of the language, the vitriol, the hatred. The list goes on and on. So I'm torn as to why this particular instance would actually stick, leading us into the midterms or even beyond that.
Rick, as we do head toward the midterms, we're already starting to see Democrats try to seize on this. They are calling for more information and transparency around it now. They're speaking more frequently about Epstein, and typically Democrats are a bit less comfortable in these sort of conspiracy and conspiracy adjacent spaces. But do you think there's an opening here for them to genuinely connect with voters on this specific issue?
I do, Antonio, because look, this isn't a conspiracy that Jeffrey Epstein was a monster. It isn't a conspiracy that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked young women. It is not a conspiracy that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were close friends and associates for over a decade. It is not a conspiracy that he traveled on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express airplane. It is not a conspiracy that Donald Trump, was quoted saying, oh, Jeff and I are friends, we party, and he likes women on the younger side. None of that's a conspiracy. All that's real. All that's in the face of people right now. And Donald Trump is trying to say, no, that isn't true. These thousands of pictures of me and Jeffrey Epstein partying over the years, that's an imaginary, creation of the deep state. What we're trying to see here, and I think Democrats are very wise to do this, if they say, let's put it out there, no matter where the chips fall. If Bill Clinton's in there, okay, so be it. But if Donald Trump's in there, he has to take accountability not only for the actions he took when he was with Jeffrey Epstein, but also now for trying to engage in a government-wide cover-up of something of massive public interest, a fire they set, a catastrophe they caused. This is the secret of all this really is that Donald Trump, Occam's razor is very sharp and very true. And if Donald Trump wasn't in these files, he wouldn't be hiding them.
Right, so this guy seems to be one of those soft Kamala supporting softy man. And he's so happy to say something about Trump and Epstein. And it could have been true. I don't know. But here's my take on it. You got it backwards. You got it backwards, Mr. Soft Kamala Simpy man. You got it totally backwards, because here's the way you should be looking at it. When the Democrats were in power under Biden, if Donald Trump was implicated in these files, so-called files, they would have released that so fast. It would have made your head spin.
Leave us. Release the Kraken.
As many things that they used to try to take down Donald Trump, they would have used the Epstein file if he was in there in a derogatory way. That's what you need to look at. These people are so twisted. They will twist things to their favor any way they can at any moment that they can, because they think they have momentum, and they might have a little bit. But I'm going to tell you this. This whole thing is coming down. Everything, all of it, it's coming down, it's coming out, and it's going to be out loud and up close. You're not going to be able to hold it back, because it is coming. Now, I told you guys that I wanted to get into something at the end of this program, and it's dealing with Trump's health.
Breaking right now here at 4 o'clock, the White House says President Donald Trump is suffering from a chronic condition. The diagnosis comes after Trump underwent a medical exam for swelling in his legs and bruising on his hands. Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center. What do we know about this condition, Brian?
Well, this is something that's been developing over the past few weeks, according to the White House. This is a picture from the Associated Press yesterday at a White House event. You can see where the president's ankle there clearly is swollen. Well, this is something that the White House medical staff took seriously, according to Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. And just about an hour ago, she said that they diagnosed him with a vascular condition.
Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70.
Chronic venous insufficiency. This is what's happening. Apparently, the legs, the veins in the legs, the valves in them are malfunctioning, and that allows blood to pool, and that's why the ankles are swelling. The treatment options range from lifestyle changes to medication, and in advanced serious cases, surgery. In itself, it's not a serious condition, and the White House says they did a battery of tests and indicated there are no systemic illnesses causing those swollen ankles and this condition.
I don't think it's a coincidence, right? I don't think it's a coincidence that all of the chaos that has encompassed the administration, all of the things that's going on right now, it seems as though there has been maybe some shortcomings, maybe some of the promises dealing with Epstein. I have never seen any situation where Trump has had his health brought into question or into the limelight or to the forefront. Now, I know the man, he's over 70 or maybe even over 80. I'm not sure. And these things happen as it can happen as people get older. I won't say that for myself or for you. What I'm saying is this could be an instant where Trump could be seeing the beginnings of him having to call on God, call on the Lord in a lot more prominent fashion, not just like in a generality, hey, the man up there kind of thing. And he said Jesus Christ a few times. I've heard that. But this situation right now that's encompassing the administration, and now we see this swollen ankle type of thing. To me, that could be God implicating Trump in maybe a small amount of judgment. Maybe there need to be some serious calling to the carpet of this man, Trump. and we need to pray for him. We need to pray for all of our leaders, Democrat and Republican. But I'm saying this because if there is anything that is being hidden, God is going to bring it out in any way possible. Even if he has to bring a situation that may be very uncomfortable for you to have to call on him and get yourself in line with God. Because you said, Trump, that God spared you to make this country great again.
Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness. And now we are going to fulfill that mission together. We're going to fulfill that mission.
And I believe God will hold you to it because that is a public confession. And it's very serious when you say things like that. If there's any shenanigans going on in the background, it's a very serious thing. And God will cause any man, not just you, but any man to have to answer to what he promised. So my name is DMG. I appreciate you guys plugging into another program. That's all I got for y'all. Like, subscribe, comment, and also share this video. I'll catch you guys on the next. Peace.